The Los Angeles Lakers have officially started their 2022-2023 NBA season 0-5 and are currently, I think, tied with the Kings to be the only winless team in the entire league and is last in the Western Conference. So today we're going to be looking into who the real issue is in LA and who's to blame for all of this, and it might not be who you think. I really apologize about my voice and just how I might sound or anything, just a little bit of allergies or whatever. Haven't felt the best the past couple of days, but we're going to be talking about these Lakers and how bad they've been to start this year and what's really going on behind the scenes. If you see me look to the side, I'm looking at some of the notes I have written down. So we're going back to the 2020 season where the Lakers, as we all know, won the championship in the Orlando bubble. And their team consisted of, as we all know, the dynamic duo of LeBron and Anthony Davis. But they had players like Rondo, McGee, Kuzma, KCP, Alex Caruso, Danny Green, THT. This team was just all around, everything what you need for a very good LeBron team, LeBron-led team. He had a co-star right beside him with Anthony Davis. He had the defenders, he had the shooters, he had people that just knew their role and played it perfectly. And they had a lot of people that did that in every space they needed that in, like shooting, playmaking, defense, a spark off the bench. They just had that all. And this Lakers team was very complete, and they actually complemented each other. Especially they complemented LeBron. When you complement LeBron in his prime, which, I mean, this man's been in his prime for the past 20 years, you're going to go to the NBA Finals. So the following season, which was only about like 3 months later after that NBA championship, they had shortened the offseason. The Lakers made some pretty decently sized, roster changes. Going for Schroeder, Marc Gasol, Andre Drummond, Montrezl Harrell, just pretty decent players, and they didn't really give up too much either. So they were mostly around the same core group of guys from their championship run. And then you add in some solid role players as well, more solid role players, and then LeBron and Anthony Davis are still there. This was a recipe for even more success, maybe back to back maybe. But then, as we all know, the Lakers had their two stars go down in the middle of the year. Anthony Davis got hurt. He was out for a very long time, and then LeBron rolled his ankle. He was out for a decent amount of time, and they still ended up making the playoffs. Got eliminated by the Suns, who were eventually the Western Conference champions that year. Went on to lose the finals, but they were still the team that came out the West. But this team, before LeBron and Anthony Davis got hurt, they were the first seed in the West. And that was after a decent amount of games into that season. So it wasn't 5 games in they were first in the West. They were first in the West for 20 games in, 30 games in. I don't know how long it was, but they were first in the West for a good amount of time. And this team, when healthy, could have won a championship. This team could have went back-to-back. I don't know, because, that Eastern Conference did get a little stronger that season with the Bucks and everything. I don't know if they would have beaten the Bucks. That would have been a fun matchup, though. See LeBron and Anthony Davis versus that Bucks team. But they did eventually lose because of health, mainly. And so we move on to last season, where things get very crazy in Los Angeles. They basically clear out the locker room except for Anthony Davis and LeBron and bring in an entire new roster for what I see, no reason. I genuinely don't see a reason to bring an entirely new roster, bring a star like Russell Westbrook into the team, plug him in, and just try and let LeBron and Anthony Davis figure it out. Just have them, here's Russell Westbrook, a star who demands the ball in his hands to be successful. We're going to put him on this team and y'all figure it out. How is that fair to anybody on this team? And then you add on basically everybody else who's new to the roster. You include, Rondo, Carmelo, Malik Monk, DeAndre Jordan was on the team for whatever reason, Stanley Johnson, Dwight Howard, Trevor Ariza, DJ Augustine, Avery Bradley, Kent Bazemore, Dwight Howard, I don't know if I said his name already, who was a part of that championship run. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook. This team was so, out of the blue, we're just going to change the roster completely, bring nobody back from last season when we were the first seed at one point before our stars went down. Let's just clear out the locker room, bring in a whole lot of players. And this is where I start to get into Rob Pelinka and why I'm questioning him in this video. And this is the main guy I'm talking about in this video when I say who the main issue is in Los Angeles, making unnecessary moves. This team right here that I just named off is just a bunch of big names that we all know, not people that actually fit each other and actually, mesh with each other and complement each other's games. It's just a bunch of big names and players that we all know, and we just expect them to do good. A lot of players going into this season were all-stars, future Hall of Famers, but one thing that they aren't in their primes. They're a bunch of players who are either past their primes and old, or are very mediocre players who have no sort of complementary type of game where they're able to shoot the lights out or play lockdown defense or both. This team was just all over the place, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Anthony Davis did miss a lot of this season. LeBron even missed some time in the beginning and throughout, but this team was just not good. Russell Westbrook didn't fit with this team at all. Russell Westbrook, I'm not going to use Russell Westbrook as a scapegoat like many YouTubers are making him out to be, the main issue in Los Angeles. But let's take a step back. Who was the one that brought him there? Russell Westbrook didn't decide to go to Los Angeles. Rob Pelinka is the one that sent that trade in for Kuzma, KCP, other players I forgot. He's the one that sent that trade over and basically said, we're going to get an all-star who fits in no way with LeBron James and trade out the guys that complimented LeBron and were big pieces in our championship run. I don't understand it. I'm not a general manager, or I'm not an owner of a team, so there might be some things I don't know that's going on behind the scenes that nobody knows, or something I'm missing. But I would like someone to explain to me why he traded for Russell Westbrook, because obviously it hasn't worked out. Looking back on hindsight, it probably does look a little worse than it probably did back then. Because back then, people were saying the Lakers are going to the championship because of that trade. But realistically, when you look back on it, there was no sort of fit on that team. They had some decent shooters, I guess, but it was just a bunch of just random players meshed onto one team, and you expect them to go out and perform well. Now let's move on to this year's team. This team has already started 0-5. This team has looked bad, really bad, especially on offense. This is a horrible offensive team. From the three-point line this season, they're shooting a little over 20% from the three-point line as a team. I think Russell Westbrook is shooting under 10%. I'm just using Russell Westbrook as an example. I know that's not his game, but my gosh, this team is just so bad from the three-point line. They can't hit. LeBron said it himself, they can't even shoot a penny into the ocean. Defensively, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This team is a great defensive team. I think they're top 5 in defensive rating this season so far. Defensively, Russell Westbrook's playing well. LeBron's had his moments. Of course, Patrick Beverley. What's his name? Juan Toscano Anderson. They've had good defensive moments and defensive stretches. But defense can't carry you all the way to a win when your offense is so horrible that you're getting stops on defense, and then you go on offense and you can't even score. And eventually the other team is going to score. You're not going to hold them to no points the entire time. It doesn't even out at all. When you have LeBron on your team, aging, he's 37 going on to 38 soon, you don't want to waste more years of his career. And that's what makes this Lakers situation so strange, because you want to trade Russell Westbrook. He doesn't fit on this team. I doubt he wants to even be on this team because of how much the Lakers fans hate him and how much, hate he gets even in home games. The crowd is chanting for him to stop shooting, and when he gets the ball at the three-point line wide open, they're chanting or just yelling no, don't shoot the ball. I know where Westbrook wants to play there, even though it's his hometown. It would benefit both sides. Westbrook doesn't want to be there most likely. The Lakers obviously don't see him as a good fit. But then you will look at the trade options. Who wants to trade for Russell Westbrook right now? The bad teams are actually playing pretty decent. The Spurs are playing very well. They just won last night versus the Bulls. I think they're 4-1. Very exciting team. I know I wanted Victor Wembanyama, but this team is very exciting to watch. So I'll enjoy some of this fun basketball for now. The Jazz are pretty good. These bad lower end teams are not going to trade for Russell Westbrook. The Magic are pretty bad, but why would they trade for Russell Westbrook? They want Victor Wembanyama this coming up draft. And Russell Westbrook might get you an extra 8 wins on the season. They don't want that. no contending team wants Russell Westbrook more than likely, unless they want him coming off the bench. Why are you giving someone $40 million coming off the bench? Russell Westbrook has a horrible contract. Just no one wants him. The Lakers aren't going to buy him out. And even if you do trade for him, more than likely it's going to be someone on contract for many more years than Russell Westbrook, because Russell Westbrook only has 1 year left on his contract. So then you're kind of getting someone mediocre back, because Russell Westbrook's value has plummeted over the past 2 years. And then you're wasting more of LeBron's career, because what? If they go to Miami or something, what is Kyle Lowry going to do to this team? Or Duncan Robinson or something? Or Indiana, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Those two players have been good. Like, Buddy Hield has actually been very good this year, averaging like 17. These players aren't going to change the entire team from going from 0-5 to top 3 seed in the West or something, or even contending in the playoffs. If you're not contending in the playoffs, you're wasting LeBron's years. And right now, as we all know, the Lakers are horrible. So they're being horrible for no reason as well, because they don't even have their picks this year. And Russell Westbrook is on 1 year left, so they're in a sticky situation. They don't know if they want to trade him right under his contract and also waste another year of LeBron and just sign someone in free agency next year. So I don't know. This team is in a mess. They signed Lonnie Walker. Kendrick Nunn is finally healthy. Dennis Schroeder's back. Other than that, they also got Patrick Beverley in a trade. This team is so... I don't think they're going to be bottom seed in the West like they are right now, but they're very mediocre. If they sign a few shooters, they might sneak into the play-in somehow. But I don't see the Trailblazers being worse than this team at all when Damian Lillard is healthy. I don't even see the Kings being better than this team at times. But defensively, they can hang their hats on that end of the floor, which is something that got them that championship ring in 2020. That team was a very good defensive team. So if you want to make the argument that next year, if they keep some of this personnel, sign shooters, and get very nice role players with that money that they're using on Russell Westbrook now, but use that money in free agency next year, this team could contend next season. Really depends on what Rob Pelinka does. But Rob Pelinka has showed me that I cannot trust him at all, trying to guide a LeBron James-led team into a championship run. He had that nice team in 2020 and even 2021, but threw it all away and signed traded for Russell Westbrook, signed a bunch of big names and thought that would win you a championship, and it didn't. It completely backfired, and now you're wasting 37-year-old LeBron's career. Not only are you wasting LeBron's very good years, his last real good years in the league, where he's going to be putting up, 25 plus, 5 and 5 or something, which I think is actually career average. But LeBron is also having to put up Hercules-type performances, MVP-type performances, for this team to even be in contention to win games against mediocre teams. That not only risks injuries, that risks fatigue, that risks, much more that we don't know that's going behind the scenes. And LeBron is doing that for a mediocre team and for a GM that doesn't know what he's doing at all. And that's just my take on it. My little Lakers rant, I guess you can say. I'm not a fan of the Lakers at all, but I am a fan of LeBron. And I don't like seeing someone at 37 years old have to carry a team this much, to the point where he's risking his body to barely win regular season games against mediocre teams. That should not be happening. And Anthony Davis is also still getting hurt. He just missed last game, and Anthony Davis still can't even stay healthy. Russell Westbrook is not fitting with this team still. Coming off the bench, he didn't look horrible, I'll give him that, but it's still a player making $40 million off your bench now. No shooting on the team, like I said, shooting like 20% from the 3-point line this year, which is horrendous. They're 0-5 and they still have a tough schedule to go. I think they play the Nuggets tomorrow as I'm recording this. I also apologize about my voice. I'm really sorry about that. I haven't been feeling very well, but I just wanted to come on here and say, my thoughts on this Lakers team, my thoughts on how bad of a job Rob Pelinka has done the past couple of seasons. Really wasting everybody's time in Los Angeles, not only LeBron's, but Anthony Davis's, the coaches, Russell Westbrook, just all these players and coaches that are getting the blame and really overlooking the fact that it's Rob Pelinka that's put this team together. and just really feel bad for Westbrook and Frank Vogel just getting a whole lot of blame this past couple of seasons. It's not just one person who's to blame for all of this. I'm even just saying Rob Pelinka, but there's still a lot more that goes into this. Rob Pelinka is the main one, I think, who is to blame for this Los Angeles meltdown the past couple of seasons. He's the one putting the teams together. He's the one, hiring and firing coaches and everyone else on the staff. But I do hope this Los Angeles Lakers team really brings it together, for the sake of LeBron, for the sake of Westbrook, for the sake of Darvin Ham. But anyways, that's my thoughts. If you agree or disagree, or you're on the fence with what I'm saying, put it down in the comments below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, so you can be notified as soon as I upload. I apologize about my voice very much. I hope I get better by the time I record my next video, and I hope to see you then. Peace out.
Come on.